Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a new TW9 video. You join us today for the go home week on the road to Grand Slam Australia. So I've decided we'll probably have it after Revolution on the road to Dynasty. I got the pay-per-views right there. Is when we're going to have the JR Tribute show. We'll obviously just make it more towards having like slobber knocker matches rather than anything storyline, but we'll see what we can relate to it. The other small change we're going to have in the video is normally I'd just have like the angles that would just say you'll cut in a promo, etc. I've kind of put it as like a description. A lot of these episodes I do book them at night and record them the next day and trying to remember what I've thought of. It's not as easy as it seems, so just to give myself a wee heads up. And I think it makes it easier trying to explain it as well, especially if if I speak too fast considering I'm Scottish, so all that's been taken into consideration, and hopefully, as I say, it's a good show. A few banging matches as we head on the road to Grand Slam. Let's do it. So we're at the Bank OZK Arena for the final Dynamite. So in this segment, I decided we'll have another video from Kenny Omega, just basically talking about his history with Kazuchika Okada, obviously what went down with the Elite, and how he's basically saying how he's going to win the Continental Championship this Sunday night at the pay-per-view. 61 for this segment, storyline advances and gains a bit of heat. But yeah, looking forward to this one. We'll go at least 20 minutes. Okada and Omega Continental Championship could be spectacular. Opening contest of the evening was a decent match that saw the Lucha Bros defeat the Righteous in 11:49 when Rey Fenix pinned Vincent with an assisted Fear Factor. Wild that this has to be the storytelling match, but that gives you an idea of how good the show hopefully should be. 65 for the wrestling, 40 for the crowd, 74 for the segment overall. Obviously anything with Rey Fenix is just gold at the moment. So really happy with that one. And yeah, just really giving them wee wins here and there, maybe a wee push in the tag division down the line. Try to protect most people that really aren't on the pay-per-view this week, or that are on it, sorry. Just a small segment again regarding the learning tree. Big Bill's cutting about backstage, but he just cannot find Chris Jericho to talk to him. So 39 as that storyline advances, but loses a little bit of heat. We had a good match that saw Io Shirai defeat Chris Statlander in 11:55 with a German suplex hold. I'll have these go out and steal the show. Why not? Io and Chris I thought would deliver at a high level. Sadly, Chris was really off her game. Io was spectacular 182, and she has all the momentum in the world going into her matchup with Mercedes Moné. And of course, we get some words, we get some verbals from Mercedes Moné, just basically saying how like Io was never on her level, never will be on her level, and she will remain the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. And in the meantime, Camille stands in the background, looking very intimidating. And that was a 48. We had a sit-down interview with a remarkable Renee Paquette featuring Jamie Hayter and the Women's World Champion Mariah May. I don't think I've really done this a lot. I had the sit-down interviews and I felt it was a good opportunity for both Jamie and Mariah to cut promos. And obviously Mariah's always going to come across well in these segments, so hopefully that boosts it as well. So Mariah just talks about how she's been champion since All In. And that, all she has to do is counter Jamie Hayter's weaknesses. She knows where she was injured, and she'll just target that and she'll win. So 66. Sadly, Mariah though didn't do well without a script, so she wants to be unscripted, and sadly in this instance it's hampering her. So next up we got a little promo from Scott D'Amore, and he's basically just telling us, thanks for coming. He's really looking forward to the pay-per-view. He's hoping that, as I say, the work he's done with other companies can help AEW push forward to a high level. He says at Grand Slam we're going to introduce the Women's Authority figure, and she'll announce a big announcement in the women's division that will take place at Grand Slam as well. Got a few ideas where I want to go, and hopefully they deliver. I also went with Scott D'Amore as an authority figure because obviously I don't feel like someone like massively popular. I feel like you could just get ended and it'd be like Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, and obviously that'd be easy, but I feel like Scott D'Amore's someone you can use just for promos. Low popularity to start with and hopefully build them up and up and up. But let's see if we can get him really over, just being that authority figure. Next up, with that little vignette, obviously we've seen him meet previous Extreme wrestlers before, and Mick Foley has taken Darby Allin to go and meet the Sandman. So this is Sandman's one and only appearance, and just Sandman talking about all the extreme stuff he had to do, how much pain he had to put his body through, and he just says if you really hate Hangman Adam Page, then you'll put your body through extreme levels in this match coming up on Sunday. So 52 for that segment. Had a wild brawl with Eddie Kingston getting some momentum, defeating Lance Archer at 8:59 with a back fist to the future. 59-48 at 64. Good stuff there. Just makes Eddie look strong going into the Gabe Kidd match whenever that will take place. No guarantee we'll have Gabe available for the pay-per-view, so it's just first chance we get. We had a little segment backstage. The Elite are discussing their match tonight, so obviously you get Jack Perry, Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks. They're talking about their match against Ospreay, Ricochet and Aussie Open. And basically the Bucks and Okada just saying we're on a great run. Jack, surely you can join in and make sure we continue to carry this momentum to the pay-per-view. So 64. We then had a little video as well, where it's MVP working with the Hurt Syndicate in the gym. Basically you just see Lashley working out, you see Powerhouse Hobbs working out, you see Shelton as well, and they just look proper intimidating, like they're a well-oiled machine. But we also see MVP on the phone, which is quite interesting. But that is a 62. Wonder what that could be about. And we had the 8-man tag. I don't think I really do a lot of these, so it was about that had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. And it was Will Ospreay, Ricochet and Aussie Open who defeated the Elite in 17:53 when Ospreay pinned Jack Perry with a hidden blade. Ricochet storyline advances because obviously him and Ospreay are in that. You can see there a 76 overall, 75 for the wrestling. The weakest performances were Mark Davis and Jack Perry. Everyone else, solid pass marks. But the Elite, wee bit of momentum loss there, but as I say, Aussie Open and Ospreay and Ricochet look great going into the pay-per-view. And our main event flopped. That's a shame. I actually went back and forth with who I wanted to win this, but I felt if Pac went over Garcia's been built up so well with so much popularity, I didn't want to lose on it. So I thought, well, I want him as TNT champion, we'll give him the win here then. So, because obviously the title's not on the line on Sunday, it's the 6-man tag. So about the had good heat and decent wrestling. Daniel Garcia defeats Pac in 18:29 by pinfall. New TNT champion, he gets his title back for the second time, but sadly 56, 58, 60. They don't click and it showed in their performances. The storylines lose heat. Yeah, I thought this would knock it out of the park, but sadly not to be. And at the end of the match, the new champion got his belt, but we have a proper 6-man brawl as Danielson joins Garcia, and of course Wheeler Yuta appears, and they do battle with Claudio, with Moxley, with Pac until we fade to black. 70 for the segment. Storyline gains heat. Bryan Danielson looks fantastic. It's not going to be enough to save us, sadly. 64. We lose popularity in 15 regions. We gain in 3. But you just feel if you'd have swapped those two around, we would have went from a terrible show to an absolutely fantastic pop gaining show. But you take your risks with the main event, and I need to see who's ready for it in the future. And yeah, not to be in this instance, but a lot of promos, a lot of segments you can see there, as we are just days away from Grand Slam. Any locker room incidents? None. Time for Rampage. So a quick roundup of Rampage before we head to Collision. Of course, it's been our go-home shows. The Collision's a bit interesting. It's one of those ones where I haven't utilised a lot of our top talents, just purely to keep them fresh for the pay-per-view the next day. But of course, we are running both the both the Collision and the pay-per-view from Australia, just to make it a bit realistic. So we'll cover Rampage first. I had a little promo with Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, which was a 41. With triple threat action in the women's division as Serena Deeb defeated Yuka Sakazaki and Anna Jay in a 63. I felt like putting Anna in with both would probably help her skill set a bit more. I had Top Flight defeat Private Party, which was a 64. We had some words for Bart Briscoe, which was a 56. Art Briscoe then defeated Juice Robinson in a 62. We had a promo from Willow Nightingale that was a 56. And to make sure we didn't lose popularity, or we didn't have the networks after us anyway, Vikingo defeats Trilistico in our main event in a 68. So pretty solid stuff there. Before we jump to Collision, I said obviously I was resting a few wrestlers, not putting the full whack of them out. So some of them obviously work for CMLL and our other partners through the Alliance. As you can see here, Jack Perry has a broken jaw, but he can work through it. He would be out for 17 days, at least have injury for 17 days. Danhausen has herniated his spinal disc. He was out for a year, asked him for surgery to get him back sooner, and he's now out to the 11th of April 2026. So he's not even been used so far, but yeah, I don't think anytime soon in this save you'll be seeing Danhausen, nor will you be seeing Ruby Soho, whose paternity leave takes her to September 2026. In the case of Keith Lee, his contract will expire before the return. We are not allowed to offer him a contract, so he will become a free agent. We might bring him back, we might not. But anyway, I believe we've got a go home show to do. Let's move on to Collision. So it might be good, it might be poor, we're going to find out. I'm worried about the attendance though, because we only got 1,488 in the One Entertainment Centre, which was our biggest that we could have possibly got in this part of Australia. And about here that had some decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat, is Orange Cassidy defeated Arya Davari in 9:52 by a beach break. Simple matchup. You want Orange to in with some momentum into that match with Swerve, and he got a 66 overall rating, 72 performance. Then had some words from Swerve Strickland alongside Prince Nana. He's just basically saying he's going to beat Orange Cassidy down. You saw what he's done to Hangman, you saw what he's done to Brian, you saw what he's done to so many people here in AEW, and he's just going to show that he's given back to the championship contention by squeezing, freshly squeezed, Orange Cassidy. 56, storyline advances, loses a little bit of heat, and both Swerve and Nana benefit from a hot catchphrase. Ended a wild brawl, because I had to utilise it. Terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Lee Moriarty defeats Colt Cabana in 9:10 with a Tiger Drive at 18. So this one only got a 34 overall. I think it's probably because neither are particularly over in Oceania. But again, just giving Lee some positive momentum. Next up, we had a little promo here from Darby Allin. And he talks about he's looking forward to just inflicting so much pain in Hangman Adam Page. He says that he obviously took the guidance from Mick Foley. He's taken previous guidance from Sting. And he's taken the words obviously from the Sandman and from Raven as well. So hopefully we can make this the most dangerous match possible. And that was a 50 rated segment. And the storyline advances to gain heat. Next up, decent matchup. Hook defeats the Machine Gun Carl Anderson in 10:04 with a red rum. A 55 overall. Again, looking to help Hook's development and get some positive momentum. Simple and effective. Then had some words regarding our New Japan Strong Women's Championship match. Again, we just see Mercedes Moné just saying, you know, she's got the Brick House Camille in her corner. She doesn't care what Io Shirai has done in the past. It's about what she's done now. And in AEW, that's absolutely zero. And she's not going to make a name off of Mercedes Moné. 44. Decent matchup. Claudio Castagnoli, the AEW World Champion, defeats Jeff Jarrett in 9:45 with a neutralizer. 62, 41, 66. Obviously, negatives are just the stuff with Karen Jarrett because she's obviously a heel, but obviously Jeff being a face. But the reality is, just a quick short match, give Claudio some popularity, some momentum. And I feel like you would get these type of matches on a Collision before a massive show. So, yeah, it's just about basically surviving here and not losing too much. Big brawl after it, again, just similar to the segment we had on Dynamite. But basically, Brian jumps in, Yuta jumps in, Garcia jumps in, and obviously Pac and Moxley just six them brawl over the place just to get the heat into that, and a 58 for the segment. Next up, decent matchup. Subpar wrestling though. Tony Storm defeats Saraya in 9:44 with strong zero with storytelling. I was hoping Tony would have got a much better performance being in Oceania, obviously being a Kiwi. But Saraya was off her game, really off her game. She's in extremely poor form and only was a 38 from her, so pretty disappointing stuff. We do have a match for Tony, despite being from New Zealand, I don't have a match for Jay White, despite being for New Zealand, but I'm hoping to at least get them involved in a few angles, just to kind of get them on the show, because obviously we announced the female authority figure for the women's division. And that's where we get some words from Toni Storm. She says, it's a bit disappointing she's not in the card, but she'll make her presence known on the massive stage that is AEW Grand Slam. Then I had a little match up between Australia's own Buddy Matthews defeating Katsuyori Shibata. Another one that's not on the show actually is Buddy Matthews. In 12:26 with Murphy's Law. A 61 overall, 39 for Shibata. He was really off his game, and a 66 for Matthews. But yeah, decent. Not great, but decent. Then I had a little interview here where Renee Paquette is speaking to Will Ospreay, and he talks about basically what's going to be happening this Sunday, the fatal four-way match for the International Championship, obviously against Bobby Lashley, against Kinosuke Takeshita, there we go, and Ricochet, and just saying, you know what I mean, he obviously trusts Ricochet, but he knows it's every man for himself, and he's just going out there to show how good he is, and that he can beat all three other men. 64. And the main event, again, utilising the Lucha Bros. I had a feeling we'd save the pot with this one. Superb wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd as the Young Bucks defeat the Lucha Bros in 14:05 when Matt Jackson pinned Penta with the Meltzer driver. Still the show matchup, Penta the weak link with a 70. This probably could have been a little bit better if it was in the States, and of course you lose a few points for the lack of psychology, which is fair enough. But obviously Lucha Bros aren't in the fatal four-way tag match, so I felt it was best they put over the Young Bucks. And I finished the show, obviously with the Elites, Young Bucks participating there. Okada with a few words, he says it's going to be the main event, it's going to be the big matchup, Continental Crown, 20 minutes, and he's going to make Kenny Omega his bitch on his return. And that was a 55 segment. So the show itself only gained popularity in 4 regions, so we really need to be hammering out big shows. I don't feel we had anything particularly great in the show at all, apart from that Young Bucks Lucha Bro. A very one segment show, to be fair, but I wanted to protect everybody so we could have the best show possible. Disappointed that, because basically all the storylines were done in promos, which is fine. So financial report, only 314,000 because we're obviously in Australia, although Australia did benefit from that. And no sorts of media scrum. We'll jump into the main screen, we'll see if there's anything there, and then we'll quickly run through the card ahead of the pay-per-view. The plan will be usual, we'll do the pay-per-view, we'll do the media scrum, and then we'll take a look at maybe 3 or 4 wrestlers just to see how their popularity and development's changed. I want to really emphasise that this year, because I do want to get this quite far, like crazy years, if possible. So WWE have inducted Bully Ray to the Hall of Fame. Collision was, got a lot of, that was one segment, but alright, fine, it saved the day. Felka's in an argument. Lexus King has been kicked out the mud. Okay. Sean Bennett is leaving WWE, so it's another referee they're losing. Could be another one we could pick up, because we've already picked up Jessica Carr, and I'm sure we picked up someone else. It was on the short list anyway. And let's see what we look here. So Rhea Ripley's gone from Marigold on loan due to the alliance. Sean Bennett's contract we know about. Collision was very poor, just 720,000 viewers overall. Cedric Alexander. Dustin Rhodes says that Hook is a star in the making. And then just your various stuff. So I was obviously learning that it was a GCW Jersey Cup match that saw Danhausen injured and Jack Perry with CMLL. So, a quick rundown of the full card for Grand Slam Australia, which is tonight. So, you will see the Continental Championship on the line. Kenny Omega challenges Kazuchika Okada. We are going to have Will Ospreay defend the International Championship against Kinosuke Takeshita, Ricochet and Bobby Lashley. We're going to have the tag titles on the line as the Kings of the Black Throne defend against Hobbs and Benjamin against the Young Bucks and Aussie Open. Women's Championship on the line as Jamie Hayter challenges Mariah May. 6-man tag action is Bryan Danielson, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta take on the AEW World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley and Pac. It could be the most dangerous match ever, or as much as we can make it, as Hangman Adam Page faces Darby Allin. Orange Cassidy is going to face Swerve Strickland. TBS Championship on the line as Athena defends against Deonna Purrazzo. New Japan Strong Women's Championship on the line as Mercedes Moné defends against Io Shirai. If we can get them, we're looking to have Gabe Kidd versus Eddie Kingston. And if there's time and if I can find someone, we'll have a random trios match featuring Christian Cage, Nick Wayne and Killswitch against 3 people if I can get a trio together that I'm happy with. But that's it for this particular episode. Thank you much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and book that now. If you enjoyed it, use a wee thumbs up. And yeah, let me know how your saves are getting on and what did you book for AEW Grand Slam Australia. But of course, remember to check out all the best places for written diaries, for other diaries, and of course for resources to check out. Of course, Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com, and of course bethebooker.net. But this is Maxwell. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time for Grand Slam Australia.